Dijonaicarrington's infamous eye poke on Caitlin Clark during the 2024 WNBA playoffs sparked heated debates across the basketball world. Fans and analysts alike dissected the moment, some even claiming it was intentional. But now, Carrington has finally addressed the incident in a rather unexpected way during a casual Instagram live with her partner, Nalissa Smith.
Oh, I'm sorry. You poked me in the eye.
This Dijonaicarrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye. There was no foul call. There was no real discussion of it on the ESPN broadcast. ESPN wrote a story after the game that did not mention that the biggest star in the history of the WNBA, the first woman to ever be the biggest star in American sports, was assaulted 2 minutes into the game on a dirty play with one of these women with these long fake fingernails that stabbed her in the eye. Do you think that had any impact on the game? Do you think that your meal ticket should be stabbed in the eye intentionally? On the court, 2 minutes into the game, and there's no problem here? It's not worthy of discussion? I read this ESPN story talking. Alyssa Thomas had a triple-double, and so-and-so scored X number of points, and the Connecticut Sun knock off the Fever. And I'm reading this story, I'm like, where's the mention of the fact that the Michael Jordan of the WNBA was assaulted, has a black eye during the second half of the game because Dijonaicarrington stabbed her with her fingernails in the eye? Play I believe it's, side 11. Could we just play this on a loop? So I'm not exaggerating. Caitlin Clark's trying to pass the ball in the first 2 minutes of the game, and this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go look. Is this a flagrant? None of that. Just everybody moved on. Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing. And Dijonai has a history with Caitlin Clark, like many of these girls in the WNBA, but she's at the top of the list along with Kennedy Carter in Chicago and Angel Reese. Those three. But here's earlier in the season, Dijonaicarrington mocking Caitlin Clark on the court, played a very physical game with her back then too. And look, does Caitlin Clark do some histrionics, some flopping, and perhaps, I'm giving them this out on what happened yesterday. Perhaps if Caitlin Clark wasn't known as a flopper, the refs would have taken it more seriously when she got stabbed in the eye and fell to the court.
That's great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
Last one. Quickly circling back on the play with her eye, what would you say to the crowd of people that think a hit like that was intentional? Maybe even
It wasn't intentional by any means. You just watched the play. It wasn't intentional.
All right, thank you, Caitlin.
Thanks. Did you, when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. So yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like there was later on in the game they caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her, so I can't laugh about something I didn't know happened.
Yeah, with the increased attention, obviously, on the W this year, obviously you're you and everyone else are under a lot more of a microscope. Just how does that kind of play into kind of more of the vitriol you've seen this year, especially like on social media?
I mean, we all see it. It is what it is. I think that at the end of the day, I know who I am, and I know, you know, what type of person and player I am, and the people who know me know that as well. So you could give the homeless $1 million, or you could steal $1 million from a rich person, and they're going to find a problem with both of them. So I mean, it is what it is. People are going to talk, but you know, like we've been doing all season, we're going to, you know, keep talking on the court.
This is inexcusable, and Dijonaicarrington needs to be suspended for game 2. You can't, that's not a natural act of you contest a shot and then all of a sudden your hand turns downwards and straight into the eye of the biggest star in the WNBA. It's not a natural act. And I called it out yesterday in real time watching the game. Like, hey, that was on purpose. That was not an accident. And part of me thought initially, like, that was on purpose. Is Caitlin Clark making too much of it? Is she exaggerating it, trying to get the call? You can think both things. You can think, hey, this is on purpose and it's a dirty play. But you could also think, is Caitlin Clark making too much of this? And then later in the game, when they mentioned, like, hey, you can see the black eye on Caitlin Clark's face, I was like, oh, yeah, that was, it was intentional, and it did real damage. And I'm not blaming it. She shot 4 of 17 from the field. I'm not blaming that on this. What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season. And again, I've admitted, some of them have been exaggerated. It's just typical rough play with girls. But there are some that it's just been dirty. And Dijonai is one of these people that has a real problem with Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark, this offseason, they have to dump Nylisa Smith. And I halfway like Nylisa. I don't think she plays properly. I think she looks for her shot too often. But Nylisa is like this 6'4" power forward that they have, who should be their enforcer, who should be the Charles Oakley, the way Charles Oakley was for Michael Jordan. Nylisa Smith should be that for Caitlin Clark. But you know why she can't be? Because according to all reports, she's dating and or likes Dijonaicarrington. Carrington should be suspended. It's criminal that there was no flagrant call here. She should be she should be given a flagrant 2 today, and it should be announced she'll be suspended for game 2.